This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of professionally curated hemp-derived CBD products over at easewellness.com, which is available in 41 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, March 5th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 678 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off today's news with a bit of a burn, as Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is making some headlines with the big push he's made in the last week or so, speaking out on the injustices wrapped up in the war on marijuana and more broadly the war on drugs. Yesterday, Senator Sanders, who has announced his candidacy for the 2020 presidential race, was interviewed on the radio show The Breakfast Club and spoke in great detail about the need to reform marijuana and drug-related laws. As you might expect from Senator Sanders, he focused a lot of attention on the need to correct the social justice disparities inherent in our justice system, and even talked about his own use of marijuana, saying, quote, "My recollection is I nearly coughed my brains out, so it's not my cup of tea," unquote. The Breakfast Club films their interviews, so I'd suggest popping over to Mary Jane to read this one and to watch yesterday's 45-minute interview. Alaska slides into our top headlines today as the state's Marijuana Control Board has approved proposed regulations for a commercial public use program where businesses would be allowed to open up space for customers to consume cannabis. The regulations have been sent over to Alaska Lieutenant Governor Kevin Meyer's desk, who under state law must sign off before they become official. Once that happens, assuming that happens, the new regulations would go into effect 30 days later. This would be the first statewide social use program to get the official nod, so it's kind of a big deal. Not a bad storyline to watch or a bad story to dive into fully. Speaking of a big deal, we wrap up today's top headlines with news of a round of fundraising that could potentially be as large as $525 million. That's the amount of money that Canadian marijuana company CannTrust Holdings has filed to raise with various Canadian and American securities agencies. The $525 million US or $700 million Canadian would be raised by selling different forms of securities and stock and would be used to grow and support CannTrust's current operations. Marijuana Business Daily is reporting that the company, which trades on both the New York Stock Exchange and the Toronto Stock Exchange, raised $106 million Canadian in investment last year, or $79 million US. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail over at easewellness.com. Check out today's awesome Ease daily deals by saving 25% off the cost of select edibles from Plus. Just use the discount code PLUS when ordering their blackberry and lemon, sour watermelon, and or sour blueberry gummies. Then keep scrolling to see all the other great legal adult use marijuana products up for order, all of which have been properly tested, packaged, and labeled. If you're the kind of customer who likes getting exactly what you pay for, then you're going to love being a customer of Ease. And if you like those properly tested, packaged, and labeled cannabis products brought to your door less than an hour after you order, then you're going to love being a customer of Ease. Thanks to everyone over at Ease and Ease Wellness for supporting today's news. All right. Time for the Blitz. Leafly just got a new CEO, announcing the recent hire of Tim Leslie, a former vice president over at Amazon, where he worked on their Prime Video service. Fall River, Massachusetts is amending the so-called community host agreements that it signed with 3 legal marijuana companies because the contracts break state law by requiring those companies to pay more than 3% of their revenue to the town. The contracts in need of renegotiation all mandate that Fall River get 4% of revenue. This is a long-running storyline in Massachusetts, with the state's Cannabis Control Commission seeking oversight powers over those agreements, most of which have been found to go over and above what's allowed by law, to the benefit of the towns signing them. Marijuana Business Daily is a small but interesting story out of California that could hint at other future stories where two companies are fighting over the trademark Harvest in relation to their legal cannabis brands. An Arizona-based company that got a federal trademark for the use of Harvest back in 2017 is expanding into California, and as a result is demanding that a Golden State-based company also named Harvest change their name. Naturally, lawsuits are now a-flying. Marijuana Moments. Evan Johnson has an excellent write-up of hearings held in the Texas State House over the issue of marijuana decriminalization. Yesterday, the House Criminal Jurisprudence Committee heard from a number of witnesses on the matter of stripping criminal penalties from cannabis possession-related charges as it considered House Bill 63, which would replace 180 days in jail with a maximum $250 ticket. Evan's story on this one is thorough and well-written, so I'd direct you over there for more. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week delves into the minds of the modern-day agricultural provider, with poll results from a survey conducted by the Farm Journal asking farmers and ranchers how they felt about growing and using different kinds of cannabis products, from low THC, high CBD medical cannabis through high THC medical marijuana and to high THC adult use. The results are pretty much as you might expect, with farmers and ranchers being more comfortable with CBD in general and with the idea of growing it over using it, but even so, the lower numbers are still kind of encouragingly high. Just over a quarter of those polled thought it was perfectly fine for them to grow high THC adult use cannabis. A little less than that had no strong opinion either way, which means that once money becomes a factor, they'll probably fall into the camp of cannabis supporters, if general human nature comes into play at all. Yesterday, the Colorado State House Finance Committee approved a bill by unanimous vote that would open up the state's legal cannabis industry to outside investment. We've covered this one just recently, as current Colorado law mostly bans outside investment money, which has been less than good for mile-high marijuana companies in need of financing. The bill now heads over to the House Appropriations Committee. And finally for today, Oklahoma just reported some numbers for its medical marijuana program, which saw $7.2 million in sales come through the registers in February, up from $4.3 million the previous month. That's all the more impressive by the fact that February has 3 days less in it than January. Oklahoma's medical program is marked by an absence of any kind of cap on license number, so the state's industry is just going gangbusters as thousands of cultivators, processors, and dispensaries are working to get started. In my opinion, this is one of the more interesting states in legal cannabis. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.